Hi, and welcome to Steve Wraith's interviews. I'm pleasure to be joined by another good friend of mine, Vas Blackwood. How are you, Vas?
Yeah, I'm very well indeed. Thank you very much, Steve.
Great to see you, mate. Thanks for coming on and giving us a little bit of your time and giving us an insight into your life. And I'm going to embarrass you really because you are a little bit older than me, a decade older. And of course, I was a big fan of yours back in the day. And I remember catching you on a few programs that I used to watch. Lenny Henry's show, In Sickness and in Health. But the one that I really do remember is a kids program called Spats. And I just remember, for whatever reason, your performance in that really sticks in my mind. And I just remember it. What made you get into acting, mate?
All right, yeah, there you go. Very good. That's very clever, Steve.
Yeah, good. It's good. I mean, it probably brings back a lot of memories.
It does. Well, yeah, it does. And I was just about to look behind me just to see if it was going on behind me, but it's just you, Steve. You just keep giving. Well, I started acting, funnily enough, I started acting. I got my professional equity card when I was 18.
Yeah.
And it all just started from there, really. I was at I went to a drama school, but I kind of did my O-levels, and then I wanted to get involved in hotel management and catering, and I wanted to be a chef. And I sort of went to a university in Westminster for that, but then I left and I decided to become an actor. And I kind of hung out with some friends of mine. We used to hang out at a pub in Islington called the Old Red Lion Pub. I don't know if you know it, but it's a pub theatre. You might have heard of it. It's in St. John Street. Yeah. Very popular. And at the time, you have like the likes of Phil Daniels, Pauline Quirk, Linda Robson, Spandau Ballet Madness, all them people that they were all artists really, but not some musicians, but actors, and we'd all get together there. There's often many plays on there, Toya Wilcox. And it just so happened that I met a director there who was doing some workshops prospectively for a new play. But that was kind of on the hush, but he was just saying, come along, It was like it's called a Black Theatre Cooperative, but he's actually a white guy who'd set up this theatre company, and there was a mixture of actors there because the play was kind of set in a community centre. Yeah. So there was some really good white roles, and then there was like some of the roguish boys, that hang out in the youth centre. And I didn't know at the time because they were keeping it very quiet, but what the roles were on offer. But because I was holding my own in the workshop, I got a role. And which is good because keeping it low key, because I didn't want to hype us all up and sort of get us not being ourselves. He wanted to see if we were able and capable. And there was a few professional black actors there that had worked with Anna Scher. But it was really, I had just really kind of done some drama at school, and a weekends art centre called WAC, Weekends Art Centre, which still goes now in Belsize Park. My son actually goes there. And I just got my card, and I've been acting now for 48 years, right? Professionally. So my friend Frankie, who's a ducker and a diver, Frankie, he called me up a few months ago, and I just picked up the phone and said, all right, Frankie. And he went, all right, Vas, how's it going, son? You all right? And I said, yeah. He said, hey, Vas. He said, you've been acting for 40 odd years, I went, yeah, Frankie, 40, that's right. And then I started to equate the figures. And then he said, yeah, you ain't never done nothing else. You just do it, you do your voiceovers, and you've just been an actor for 40 odd years, mate. So I said, Frankie, where's this conversation going, Frank? He said, I'll tell you where. He goes, that's fucking amazing, mate. You want to put your name, you don't mind if I swear, put your name, that's how Frankie, put your name up on the wall, mate. Your name's got to go up on the wall. And I said to him, and then finally, because Frankie does that to me, and I said, I finished the conversation. I thought, you know what? He's got a point. He's got a real serious point, because I ain't gone nowhere. And I've been doing that for 48 years. And that's all I've ever done. And It's damn right. And you know what? This is something that I would say, because we were talking just prior before doing this interview about people that listen to your podcast. And I'm sure you get a broad spectrum of really wonderful people, humans that listen. And some of them need to hear this, because it's like me saying, you know, it's a tough game, but any game's a tough game. But the longer you are in it, things happen. And Frankie triggered off something. And funnily enough, I'm about to launch my first website. And that is in honor of being in the hustle for being an actor for 48 years, right? And a Freemason for 23 years. And it's going to have both of those type of things in it. And here he is, the wonderful, amazing Vas Blackwood. And I think it's because, and you know, you put some respect on your name, because my business isn't like, say, boxing or football or something like that. I can do it until the day I die. I see old boys, old black guys out there, characters. I say I could play in one day, you know. Thank God for my genes, my parents, and I've got good kind of like genes, so I don't quite look my age as such. So there's loads that I can do. But, you know, it's an interesting thing for me, because when I look back on 48 years of being an actor, it's like there's just so much there. There's so much there to be done as well. And it's an amazing thing. So Frankie really set me off. I did have an idea, but I hadn't quite worked the figures out. But as I said to you, 18, I got my equity card. And when I got my equity card, Bella Freud, Sigmund Freud's granddaughter, right? No, Sigmund Freud's granddaughter, Lucian Freud, the artist's daughter. Yeah, Sigmund Freud, the psychologist. She got her card as well. And she's also went on to become a big fashion woman, Bella Freud. But she was the designer. So she got she did the design for the play. So she was working with clothes then. So Bella got her card the same time as me on the same production. And another guy, another Asian actor, I can't remember his name. I don't think he carried acting, if I remember it, but he didn't really carry. But Bella, and I knew Bella from the Old Red Lion anyway. Yeah. So, you know, it's great. So that is that up to the time, you know.
Fantastic.
And as well with voiceovers, yeah.
Your CV's immense. I mean, when you look down at some of the shows that you did, and I mean, you know, from your perspective, you've mentioned, you mentioned social media and doing your website and stuff. You've took to social media, very well. Some people don't. I was speaking to Bruce Jones on a previous podcast, and he hasn't quite grasped social media. But you're not afraid to speak your mind on there.
Listen. Do you know, I mean, I don't, my friend Danny John Jules, the actor, right? If you want to talk
Red
about
Dwarf.
Yeah, Red Dwarf, and also Death in Paradise, and Dancing with the, he was on the Dancing with the Stars or something. Danny did really well in that. Yeah, you know, Danny. I've known Danny for many, many years. Such a lovely man. You know, I'm in the entertainment industries, you know, and we don't all know each other. As actors, you know, we don't know all each other, and especially black actors, whatever. It doesn't matter, actors. But he's someone I've got a lot of time for. He's a friend of mine, and Danny, you know, he's very straight up when it comes to social media. But me, I'll just say things now and then. I mean, recently, I'll tell you something funny. You should say this, Steve, actually, because I mean, I play about a little bit with it, but then there are a lot of people on it that it's their life. And, you know, they kind of like with Instagram and things like that, they make a living out of it, and YouTube, they make a living out of it. But me, as I told you, I've been an actor for 48 years. I'm not like someone who's just come around and said like, well, I've got 200,000 followers, let me be in your film. And I can tell the world that's just blagging it. I'm old school. So, a couple of days ago, I mean, I don't do Twitter or Facebook on my phone. I don't do it. It's not on my phone, right? So, you know, just this, you got to try and work out when you say talk about me on social media, I don't do it on my phone. If I'm in front of the computer, I might look on Twitter, as you do. Normally as well, I will look on Twitter for some boxing results, right? Because you see the results and you see some quotes from the fight and you get into it then and find out the best. I'd always go to Gareth, Daily Telegraph, Gareth.
Oh yeah, I know who you mean. Yeah, I've seen you. I've seen a few of them.
Yeah, Gareth and I, we follow each other, yeah. But he's really good.
Yeah.
He's really good, right? He writes good on the fights. And, you know, Mark Tibbs and, you know, follow them boys and Billy Joe and all that. And I kind of like just get into it a little bit like that. But, and then I'll say things, for instance, there might be things on masonry. I don't care. I'll be upfront about my masonry. I'm very proud of my Freemason, but I'm not going to say anything detrimental towards Freemasonry. I'm not going to entertain anything negative thrown at me about Freemasonry, because all the negative things I know about, because I got into all the negative, reading all the negative things, supposedly negative things before I became a Mason anyway.
Same as me.
Yeah, right. Okay. So, which we do. But then, was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. This is just talking about social media and me. Yesterday, the gentleman there was was convicted for raping that girl, and he raped her, and he
the police officer.
Yeah, he abducted her and he raped her. Right.
Yeah, that's right.
So it was in the BBC News. So because I look at the BBC News, everyone does near enough in this country, and I sort of read the first couple of. I've got two daughters. One's in her 30s and one's 17. So I'm a dad of two daughters, basically. Right. There are many dads of daughters out there, but some of them don't see their daughters. But when I say I'm a dad of two daughters, I'm their dad. Full on. So not full on, like they won't invite me to their wedding. I'm their dad, right? And I'm there for them. So when I read it, when I saw it, I thought, I'm going to read this because obviously I'm thinking of the family, right? And I just noticed the headlines. And the first thing I thought, oh, he's not admitting to murdering her, is he? All right. Mm-hmm. So I looked at the first paragraph and I thought, I can't read anymore. It's upsetting me already. And I was going to say something on Twitter, right? And on Facebook. And I think that's the wonderful thing about Freemasonry is that there's, you know, in the second degree, in the tracing board, delivery of the trace, not the delivery of the trace board, sorry, in the delivery of the Grand Lodge certificate, because I'm now a visiting officer. So I've learned the lecture in giving the Grand Lodge certificate, handing over the Grand Lodge certificate. And it says on the Grand Lodge certificate, it says Audi Verdites, right, on the arms, which means listen, observe, be silent. A very good motto for the wise Mason. So, because when you go on social media, you are piping up. You're piping up. And I thought, you know what? I was going to post, hang him, but then I was also going to put with the piece underneath. Then I was going to post. Then I thought, no, I took out hang him, and then I was going to just say something, you know? Yeah. But then I thought, so you mentioned me in social media. So as I get older, or as I get more into it, social media doesn't matter to me. Facebook is like Wastebook. And because why would I put that just to get likes? Because we all agree, you know, think of the family, think of the situation. How can we better it? But that man, and then, you know, I'm reading now, he's saying that, you know, I don't know what he's going for as far as murdering her is concerned, but can you imagine the police officers? And I know many police officers. Can you imagine the police officers that have had to deal with this case and him being a police officer? It's just disgusting. Even if you know, not even him being a police officer, so he's just a human who's done that to a girl, a really innocent girl going home, just picked her up, taken her, done that, ended her life. Is there really a space for a human like that on this earth? That's the point I was going to put up. But Audi Verdites, listen, observe, be silent, because I know there's a lot of my more distinguished brethren that are on social media, and you know, I've got to have a little bit of restraint. We all have to have a little bit of restraint. So I just didn't want to start people up because I know how people are feeling.
people ask me what I got out of Freemasonry, and I think it's helped me become a better person. You know, because ultimately I do the same. I don't react now probably as quickly as I would on social media, because I'm aware that for all you said about likes, you get more trolling. And I actually set about during the COVID situation when it was at its peak, set about doing a think before you tweet campaign. Before all of these other kind of campaigns, bigger campaigns came in, because I was getting a lot of extreme trolling from people about the Newcastle United takeover, because I would like to see it go through, but there are people on the other side of the fence who would like to see a takeover go through, but not necessarily the Saudi takeover. And that is because they're, believe in, the fact that, the Saudis shouldn't be allowed anywhere near football or sport in this country, and that it's sports washing. But yeah, I got in a similar kind of thing, but I didn't react in the way that, I could have done, which was to, have a pop at people on social media. I put a lot of that down to the training and, the reading, especially, and being part of something special within the Freemasons that, it's matured me. And I know some of it comes with age. I'm approaching my 50th birthday next year. And I know a lot of it comes with experience. With experience and age comes a bit of wisdom. You learn from your mistakes. But Freemasonry massively helped me, and in that respect, and I've enjoyed it. I've thrived. I'm, still currently the worshipful master in my lodge, and I'm in a different, I'm in some of the different orders now, and I enjoy it. And people look at me sometimes, go, well, it's definitely suspicious, and what you get up to, and the funny handshake. But I think the program you did, which has recently been repeated inside Freemasonry, has been massively helpful in dispelling some of those myths.
That's right, especially the main subject matters in each story, the individuals that they used. Yeah, it was, and I was very proud to be a part of that. And again, as I said, and you hit it on the head there. It's like, I just thought about it, but then I couldn't help it. Today, I did post something regarding Prince Harry and
the BBC. Yes, I saw that.
Yeah, and I was just like, no, I just had to go for it because I was very surprised at the BBC doing that, because it's like something that the Daily Mail would do, and it's like they're trying to say that he didn't tell the Queen that they were going to name their daughter, give the Queen's pet name, as it were, to their daughter. So what? So what? Well, do you know what I mean? It's like, and I had to say, so what? And I know, and I would get involved, because I defend Prince Harry. Is someone that I've got a lot of time for. Prince Harry.
Yeah.
Because Prince Harry and his brother, don't get me wrong, but Prince Harry, for me, is everything his mum would have wanted him to be.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of these things are dead cats in the media, though. I mean, I saw one this morning where the students had taken down a photograph or a painting of the Queen from the common room. For me, there's obviously something else going on, Vas, in the media that they don't want us to know about, and they throw a dead cat story in. It's a nothing story. But all I saw on GMB this morning was Richard Madeley and Suzanne going on about this. Literally an hour of the news was dedicated to that. They debated it. Literally, it's a painting coming down in a common room. That's it. But they were saying we're belittling the Queen, etc. I've got to be honest. That was just that. I'm always looking at what's going on behind that story. What are they not want us to talk about? Is it political? We've got G7 coming up. We've got.
Well, it's funny. I mean, sorry to interrupt you, because the funny thing is, I'll tell you something. Yeah. This is a strange one, because especially in the UK, like if you walk into any building, and if you see the picture of the Queen up on the wall, right, and there's a picture of the Queen up, and every time you've come in this building, there's always the picture of the Queen up on the wall, right? Yeah. And the building that you're in, like, and then if you're in that same room, and all of a sudden, a couple of people that you might not be too familiar with who they are, or they might be, they come in here now and then. Yes, I've seen them before, and they walk up to the picture of the Queen and they take it off the wall and maybe just walk out with it or something. Personally, I would question why they're doing that. Yeah, I would say, whoa, where are you going with that? Why are you taking that off the wall? And if they then start by saying, well, because it's the Queen and this and that, I'll just grab that picture, boy. I'll push them out of the way and I'll put it back up. That's me, you see?
Yeah.
So on the same hand, I tell people that right now, I would do that because I know something wrong's going there, that you can't start that rubbish up.
Yeah.
Because that being up on that wall, look at the date of this building, whatever this building we're standing in, that is part of the fabric of this building, you know? So you taking it down, right? You're starting up trouble, and I don't want to be part of that trouble, and I'm not going to watch you do it. So I'm putting it back up, and you, because it's your idea of a joke, but it's not my idea of a joke, because that's Her Majesty. So just leave her up there. Do you know what I mean? If she wants to take it down, if she wants to take it down, let her take it down.
Yeah.
But that's Her Majesty, because I don't rock against that. But what I'm saying is that with Harry now and the BBC, because the BBC, you know, we have to pay them a certain amount of money every whatever. They're always coming for their money. And as far as I'm concerned, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, I've always called the BBC is worldwide. It's like it's a very intellectual, very clever organization, the BBC. What the hell has Harry and Meghan got to do with them and the Queen? That's not even news, because when it comes to me, I just say, well, look, listen, you're only doing that because he's married a black woman. That's what I'd say. That's because that's the way we look at it. Mm-hmm. And that's why he's one of us. So what? So what if he's name? And I think it's a lovely name. Yeah, it's a lovely name.
It is.
Of course, it's a lovely name.
Whether they asked her or not, it's a respectful thing to do. It's and I saw it the way I saw it was it's a way of trying to say, well, look, you know, we're paying you the biggest compliment we can. We're naming our daughter after you.
But you see, the press, the BBC are trying to turn it around differently. So, but then I will say that to you, because people might say to me, oh, well, Vas, you know, it's a big disrespect to Her Majesty. But then I'm the same type of person that if I see someone walk into a building and I'm standing in that building and they take down a picture of the Queen in front of me, I'm going to question them. First, I'm going to say, why are you doing that? And I know, because some of them can't help themselves. They'll say, well, because we're part of the eco-friendly. As soon as I hear whatever, I'm taking that back off them quick. Yeah. Like I look that way and take it, and it's going back up on the wall. Or they're going to have to try and take it off me, and they won't get it.
Yeah. No argument from me on that. I'm going to ask you a question, Nick, who was a big part in helping us get together, setting up the interview today. Yeah. He wanted to know what your thoughts were on the Noel Clarke situation and that kind of situation within the acting industry. We've seen it on both sides of the Atlantic. I'm not asking you to specifically talk about Noel unless you wanted to, but just in the industry, is that something that you see on a regular basis? I've got to be honest, I haven't, but I haven't got to your level. I've built up a good CV over the last 7 or 8 years, but it's not something I've come across. Is it something you would say is prevalent in the industry?
Well, this is interesting, isn't it? Mm. Should I tell you the name of the director? He was a director then. That got me I got my equity card from.
Right.
He was doing plays. Shall I tell you what his name was?
Yeah.
Charlie Anson.
Right.
You know who Charlie Anson is?
Know the name, yes.
Well, he produces on Ricky Gervais's show. He's just been done for the same thing that Noel Clarke has been done for.
Yeah. So these are all allegations on the leveled about sexual harassment and that kind of thing.
No. Look, listen, and I'll get back to this thing with Noel Clarke, right? Noel Clarke.
Yeah.
I don't personally know Noel Clarke. I've never worked with him, but I know he doesn't like me because I defended Adam Deacon on Twitter a few times. I know that. And he backed me up on the street one day. Noel Clarke come out of nowhere while I'm talking to my good friend Leanne, who owns a flower shop in Berwick Street, a flower store. Whenever I'm down there doing voiceovers, I always talk to Leanne. She's from South London. She's salt of the earth, because that's the type of guy I am. Now, I don't air my dirty washing in public, but you asked me a serious question, because apparently that's a big deal, isn't it, with Noel Clarke? Right, okay. So I'll be honest with you, because I know you. So I'm talking to Leanne, and all of a sudden someone's come out of nowhere and pushed me up and literally moved me to one side. And I'm like, it's Noel Clarke. Right, and I've never met him. 48 years I've been in the business. I didn't even get a shake hand or nothing. I didn't even get a respect, I love your work, nothing. All I got was, you've been following, you've been liking tweets from Adam Deacon, haven't you? I've noticed you've been liking tweets from Adam Deacon, haven't you? Like, what? Yeah, Adam Deacon, yeah. Well, I don't like that. And if I don't like that, it's not good if I don't like that. This is me he's talking to, you know that? I mean, I come from Kentish Town. I come out of the borough of Camden, right next door to Islington. I went to Sir William Collins School, a school where you don't end up being an actor, that school. You end up being an enforcer for the Adamses or something like that. Tommy Adams went there. I know these people, I grew up with these people. And he's talking to me like he said, because I don't like that. And I thought what he said to me, because if I don't like it, and I was like, I laughed and I went, all right, no. I said, no. Like, he said, well, yeah, now if I don't like it, right, it ain't good, right? I noticed that. Boom, gone, walked off. Leanne turned and went, who the fuck was that? And I went, don't worry about that. I'm handing him over to God. That was a few years ago. And I got the impression that, like, you're talking to me like that, yeah, to say that if you ain't gonna get no work. So he was bullying me on the street.
Bizarre.
And then look what happened how many years later, just now the other day. I'll tell you something. When I read it in the newspaper and I started to read it, let me tell you something. See, again, father of 2 daughters.
Yeah.
My eldest daughter's a film director, film editor, living in Jamaica right now. An amazing girl. Imagine her having to cross swords with that, or get past him. I've never been a member of BAFTA, but I'm thinking of joining, just to mark my 50 years in the hustle. That's Blackwood's gonna join, and I'll see you all there, all you BAFTA people. Love the lot of you. I'll be there. You never know. I might win an award.
I think when I look at your career, and just to embarrass you a little bit more with a few background shots, this is probably the role that a lot of people remember you for in Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels. What was it like to be part of that journey? Because I don't think when that started out that anybody would imagine it would become such a cult movie.
Well, now, Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, for me personally, I think, well, my favorite character in the film was Vinnie Jones. I really love Vinnie, right? Brilliant. I remember saying to Guy, right? I said, Vinnie's really good in this. We had a screening of it, and I said, Vinnie's really good in this. And he looked at me and he was like, you're not too bad yourself, Vas. And, you know, let me tell you, I'm just so proud that I was part of that. But that's still keeping me in good stead. That still keeps me in good stead. And, you know, it's only a matter of time before I trigger off in something again. And people say, do you know, because I feel it coming together, you know, and the people say, you know, it's like as if, like a comeback thing, but I've never been anywhere. I've always been here. One thing about me is that I enjoy my life, you know. I lead a very, very simple life, right? And you know, my Freemasonry has helped me with that. And you know, being a part of Lock, Stock is just being a part of history, British film history. And I've still got a lot more to offer. And that's why I'm saying, you know, BAFTA, here I come. I'll come down there and fill out the forms. You know what I mean?
Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me. You deserve it, mate, for everything you've done. I've got another question from Katie, and this is about this rule in Only Fools and Horses. And I think it just shows how far we've progressed. But she said the character name of that particular character, Only Fools and Horses, she says, I think it's just right, was Shadow. Is that right?
Well, yeah. Well, Lennox Gilby was his name, the character's name, Lennox Gilby. But there was the line where I say, they seek him here, they seek him there. Those policemen seek him everywhere. Is he in heaven or is he in hell? That damn elusive shat pad dope.
That's it. Yeah. So she's saying, I mean, she said, do you think in this day and age his character would be called that? You know, in Only Fools and Horses. That was the question she was asking.
No, it's to do with the Scarlet Pimpernel.
Yeah.
The Scarlet Pimpernel, right?
Yeah.
So she, what was her name? The lady who was asking?
It's Katie who's asking that question.
Yeah, Katie, no. It's to do with the Scarlet Pimpernel because he was the shadow. Because he was dark and all you could see was a shadow of him. That political correctness business, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
We ain't got a problem with that. Black Lives Matter, but we ain't got a problem with that.
What's your view on taking the knee? We obviously do a lot of football programs on this channel. I mean,
right there? Let me show you. What's my views on that? I'll show you my views on that. Oh, son! Yeah, son! Yeah!
I love it.
Yeah, we've all got one. We've all got one in the house.
Fantastic.
Everyone wears one, depending on what mood you're feeling.
Yeah.
You put out, there you go. Look, there you go. So my views on it are, you know, look, I've got a lot of books I read, right? But I read loads of books, but I read books, right? So there's so it's all about what life's all about. Is like, if you know your history,
yeah,
know where you're coming from, then you won't have to ask me, who the hell do I think I am? That's a Bob Marley's quote, right? So basically, this T-shirt is like, it's a movement where, you know, it's just come about where it's found itself, but it's been something that's been going on for maybe 300 years, bubbling in the pot, colonialism, different things of that sort. So it's just one of those things. And again, every action brings a reaction. So the action was taking downright liberties with my race and slavery. This was the action for the gain of money and power, because they became billionaires through it then, and just discarded black people after emancipation, didn't help them through anything, and we struggled through. And here I am, and you've got many black friends and this, that, and the other, and they are the same descendants of this same thing here.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. And, you know, Rodney King, George Floyd, man, you know, and it's just...
Stephen Lawrence.
I'm a good friend of the Lawrences. I assisted, I got involved. I did the walk. When about a few weeks after he died, he was murdered. I went down there with social workers and did the walk where he ran from, the bus stop, to where he was stabbed, where he dropped dead. And I was, you know, any little thing that was happening with the Lawrences, I was there. The mum, Baroness Lawrence, what a woman. Yeah. And father, you know, they're from Jamaica. My parentage is Jamaican. And yeah. So, you know, it's funny. Life is funny, but you know, I'm pro this, very pro it. So good. When these players, Marcus Rashford, you know, he's like, Marcus Rashford, amazing, absolutely amazing, spot on. And then Lewis Hamilton, amazing, spot on. Stand up. It's just that, listen, it's just a thing. Don't worry about them. They don't like it. It's only 1 or 2 or 3 of them don't like it, and they start up all of that. And it's, so what if you don't like it? Don't worry about it. It's just something that's in your blood. It's in your blood and it can't get out. They were talking, you know, sorry, I'm going to switch it a little bit, because Michael Holding was talking about the cricket player, this young cricket player who they're investigating at the moment because he made some tweets, racist tweets, when he was 10 years ago. So he's in his 20s, late 20s now, must be playing for England. Ollie Robinson.
Yes.
Yeah. So Michael Holding has gone online on Twitter. He was interviewed, and what he was basically saying, he's a wonderful Jamaican, Michael Holding. He was basically saying, it's not a witch hunt, but he was saying like, yeah, it's kind of like a witch hunt. It's like, you know, yeah, all right. If we can gauge and look at when he said that to what he's done since, what's his mindset like? Is there any regret? There's this, there's that, there's this, because we do silly things when we're young, right? Now, Michael Holding was talking about forgiveness. And it's I believe Michael Holding probably is a Christian, right? I believe in God, but I'm not necessarily a Christian. I'm more sort of Orthodox church. But my views on Christianity, or my views on my beliefs, is like, you know, if you've got an enemy, you know, it's best if you nurture a love inside of yourself for them, because if you nurture a hate inside yourself, it's like that hate can become a sickness to you. So why am I going to carry pain if I dislike someone? Why am I going to carry an angry feeling inside of me? You know, I mean, things happen all the time. But as I said, when that incident happened with Noel Clark and Leanne said, who the fuck was that? I said, don't worry about it. I'm handing him over to God.
Yeah.
Because I love him. I don't hate him. Right? And I hadn't said anything bad about him. I just was liking what my friend was saying, because I know my friend was trying to get a point across. You know, this is the crappy thing about social media, and some people ride it, some people don't, but he was obviously offended. But I handed him over to God, because if I've got enemies, I just hand them over to God, or the universe. I can't get involved in it. My life's too short and too beautiful, you know, to get involved in it. So what Michael was saying about this kid, okay, it's fair enough. And a lot of players and people are like saying, Michael, I know Vaughan, is it Michael Vaughan?
Yeah.
Michael Vaughan. Yeah, he was saying, you know, wonderful words from Michael Holding. But then I'm going to tell you another flip side of it, how Vas Blackwood see it. I was thinking, hold on there a minute, Michael Holding. Now, this kid was 15 or whatever age he was when he wrote these tweets. Yeah. Yeah. And now he's whatever age, 10 years later. He's only 25 now, right?
Yeah.
So he's still got a lot of vigor and vim, right? And they've sussed it out. So what's to say he still hasn't got them thoughts?
Yeah.
Right? You know where I'm coming from, right? It's not as if like it's 40 years later. It's 10 years later.
Yeah.
So I wonder, and remember now, they come from the world of social media, these youngsters, not me. 10 years ago, you know what I mean? Whatever. It's like, you know, when I was 15, we didn't have mobile phones.
Yeah.
Right. So he was things have come out, what he was thinking. And now he's up there. And what they're trying to say is that the lefties are trying to get all this, but no, they've got a point. They've got a point. And there's so many other younger boys that want to be in the England cricket team who never did anything like that, who never ever tweeted anything negative, racist. Yeah. Never. They've never done it because they've been too interested in their cricket. But Elvis here, Robinson, he's got all like mighty when he was a youngster. And it's cool. It's calm. I've gone around and beat him in the ass. Yeah. So they should investigate him, suspend him, and this, that, and the other. And I don't care how old he was. So I kind of don't agree with Michael Holding saying, but Michael's entitled to his views. And, you know, you've got the other side of things saying, oh, Michael Holding, brilliant, Michael, brilliant, oh, brilliant, brilliant. But, you know, listen, if you know much about colonialism in Jamaica, right, and where Michael was born, where my parents was born, and when I sit down, I'm reading some deep books on Jamaica, right, even present as we speak, right up to some modern days books on Jamaica, which has a lot to do with the past. And it's like, you know, like, yeah, I don't know, it's hard. If someone says something, man, it comes out of their mouth, because too much sadness has happened in slavery, and how the views and the thoughts of a man, a white man against a black man. And maybe Michael can look at it like that, but I don't see it quite like that. I see that there's an issue, and we shouldn't get all what above our station. I think if the ECB are pulling him up and are dealing with it, let them deal with it. But if you want to make a comment about it, Michael Holden, fair enough. I've got lots of time for Michael Holden, but not everyone who's black agrees with what you're saying about forgive and forget and move on. No, yeah. Because they could give that boy, Robinson, he got selected. And there was other boys that were good boys brought up from certain households where their parents weren't allowing their child to do things like that, or they're on top of their child. And, you know, because they're apprentice age and they're coming up. And, you know, that's all got to be part of the makeup. Mm-hmm. You can't do that because it's everyone there's a lot of boys hungry to fight for that role, to play for England, their country in cricket. So you have to be squeaky clean. I'm sorry.
You do, mate. The clock is beating us. So a quick answer on this one from Danny from Berkshire. He says, would you do reality TV, or have you ever been approached?
Yeah, they approached me once many years ago about doing things for homeless. Like, you're homeless, right? And you've got to go around begging people money, you know? And it was a lot of money they wanted to pay me to do that. I was in Jamaica at the time, and I was going to fly back over and do it. But then I thought about it, and I thought, and then they mentioned something about the security. Security would be nearby while we film you. Thinking, yeah. But I had a mate of mine got in a bit of a problem. Steve McFadden, the actor, he got in a bit of problem. Some homeless people, an incident happened with him, and Steve can look after himself. And a homeless man came out for Sabre, right? And Steve's had a mate with him, and Steve had to look after the situation, but it was a very close call, and he got himself cut. So I'm just thinking, well, I'm homeless, I'm doing that. If they found out, I don't know what, I have to wait for security. Say someone by then could have come up with a needle and injected something in me. I don't know. So I didn't want to get involved in that. But when my Jamaican cousins were hearing about how much they wanted to pay me, they're like, man, Mill be homeless, man. Come on, man, Vas, man, go and do it, man. Homeless, man, I make all that money, man. I said, no. I wouldn't do any reality TV. Answer the question, I would not do it, no.
Last one, obviously we got a chance to work together in 2014 on The Governors. Great film, thoroughly enjoyed it, and it was great to be working with a lot of people who I've admired over the years as well. But really good film, and you can still get that, I believe, on a lot of the download services. But any aspiring actor going into things, what would your advice be, Vas?
Well, my advice would be basically just get yourself trained up, yeah. Take yourself very, very seriously, and just try and find yourself in the right environments. You know, go to get yourself involved in like even the Old Red Line, pub theatres and things like that. Hang out like amongst actors and meet them and talk to them, and just take yourself seriously. Read a lot, look at scripts, look into yourself and work it out. Don't because a lot of them get this, because it's all social media, and it's like they put themselves out and it's all lies. You know, it's all lies. A lot of the stuff that you see on social media, 95% of it is lies. You see them throwing money around and all that. That's false money that they use in films, you know? Things like, I don't know, you know? So all I'm saying is that if you want to become an actor, take yourself seriously. Because I took myself very, very seriously, to the extent that, you know, I'm still doing it.
Great advice, mate. Great advice. Listen, I could speak to you all night and all day.
Likewise. You're a good man. You're a good man.
So are you, mate. And let's hope we get back together on in front of the camera, at some point, mate. But Baz, be an absolute pleasure, mate.
Yeah, definitely, man. Listen, thank you very much for speaking with me. I hope my views didn't sort of like rouse you up too much, but you know, I'm just keeping it real. It's only a moment in time, but I'm there for anybody and everybody. So one love to you all. God bless it.
Vasterman.com as well. Is that the website where people can find you?
Well, not yet. We won't put that one out there yet. It will be coming, but I'll put it out on social media. But it will be along those lines, but not quite yet. No.
Okay, at Vas Blackwood on Twitter. I'll stick the link down there. People want to give you
on Twitter.
Give you a follow on there and have a chat about boxing and stuff and all other things. But been an absolute pleasure, mate. Take care. Love to the family. God bless you.
Yeah, God bless. Yeah.